Little breaking news for you on this Pac-2 situation. You'll remember yesterday that the Pac-12 went to court against each other, or Oregon State, Washington State, versus the exiting 10 members of the Pac-12. And today, I think we were all waiting for this, but now it has happened. According to Ross Dellinger at Yahoo Sports, you see on the screen there an appeal to the Supreme Court of the state of Washington on behalf of the exiting 10 members, Washington State University, Kirk Schultz, Oregon State University, President Murthy, and a member of the Pac-12 Board of Directors versus the Pac-12 Conference and George Kliavkoff and the University of Washington, an institution of higher education and an agency of the state of Washington. Now, you may be saying, well, where are the other 9 members, fat ass? Well, here's the thing. This ruling happened in Washington because that's where Washington State and Oregon State filed the case. So Washington, representing all 10 exiting members in the state of Washington, it's their jurisdiction. That's why they are filing it. Notice it is the Pac-12 Conference and George Kliavkoff in his calculations official capacity as mouthpiece for the Wilner Radio Magician podcast, or as commissioner of the Pac-12, as we commonly call it. That's why that is worded like that. We will see how quickly this case gets in front of the Supreme Court. I would assume that this will happen. I would assume the Supreme Court will stay the ruling from yesterday, and I would assume that the exiting 10 members of the Pac-12 will win a full review from the Supreme Court of Washington. This is a request that they have filed, and it is yet to be seen. I mean, there is an opportunity here for the court to fully reject this. It's highly unlikely. There would be no reason for the court to reject this.
Yeah, I think it's a precedent-setting case too. It's something we've never seen, and I think that for the Supreme Court of any state, or frankly of the nation as well, if you're going to bring forth a case that's never been seen and would set precedent in a certain situation, I would think that would take priority over other cases. I also think this case impacts the economy of the state in a pretty major way. I also think that this case impacts thousands of people on these campuses one way or the other. So if you're the Supreme Court of the state of Washington, I do think that this is one you're taking, as it is both a high visibility case, but a very important, set the direction of the state of college football case, because you need to draw the line in the sand. This is what's allowed. This is what's not allowed. This is how this should be evaluated, or rather interpreted, and how it should not be interpreted. And that's specifically why you're in court. And I'm going to say what I said yesterday. If the legal team that's representing the 10 who have left are going to come in here with this soft-ass defense of it's not fair, we're the victim, we just want what's owed to us, you're going to lose again. And that's what I think is unfortunate, is that seems to be the strategy. And honestly, I don't know why that would, your strategy would change from, the lower level court to the Supreme Court. I don't know why your strategy would change, which is really unfortunate, because I do think that the Harvey Specter angle, as you were just rolling out for Jim and his attorney, that type of strategy and force would work extremely well in this situation. But it doesn't seem they're taking that approach.
No, I think that, again, and we talked about this yesterday here on the Monty show, I think the exiting 10 members of the Pac-12 completely botched this argument. They went in there talking about bylaws, and they wanted to ignore precedent. They didn't want to talk about their past actions. They wanted to talk about what they were going to lose. And what I said yesterday is the same thing I'll say now. What the exiting members of the Pac-12 should have argued is, we acted as a group then, we're acting as a group now. They did not argue that. And I think that's why they lost. And if they go before the Supreme Court, now I would remind you, they're asking for a full review. So they're saying that there is some kind of, legal mistake the judge made here, which I don't see how you would rule that based on the fact that the judge said this isn't a slam dunk. We know this is going to be appealed to the upper court. So all this is doing is choking the Oregon State, Washington State movement to save the conference. That's all this is doing. And I think it is very unlikely, very, very unlikely now that, one, I don't doubt that the Supreme Court is going to stay the ruling and take up a full review. I don't doubt that in any way, shape, or form. I think what you are looking at here is a situation where I just don't see how the exiting 10 members win here, because we have done a lot of work on this. And my firm opinion is, from legal people that I've spoken to, is that the remaining 2 members are simply going to use past actions against the exiting 10. And that's exactly what they did yesterday. And it's the easy strategy because it's indefensible. It's indefensible.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree it's indefensible. I think it's indefensible for a lawyer or a legal team that's not willing to say, hey, this is something that's never happened before. And when we acted that way then, it was in normal procedure because that's what we would have done for a conference that was just rolling along. We acted differently now because we didn't see a viable path forward.
Certainly you could say that, yeah.
And we didn't want to risk the whatever verbiage you want to use, the health or the wellness of our student bodies. We didn't want to risk the viability of our universities and put them in a situation where we wouldn't have funding for our athletic programs, because the reality of the situation is the 10 who left all have good enough football programs. Football is a reason why a student will come to our university. So the idea that in today's day and age in college football, where you have the transfer portal and NIL and all these things that other schools across the country can leverage,
that's
and
right,
we don't have a grant of rights situation, that's really going to damage us. And that's why we acted in the way we acted. Somehow, some way, I'm not a lawyer, never went to legal school. I came up with that off the top of my head. And this joke of a legal defense can't even come up with that. And that's what bothers me so much in this situation. Because when they inevitably lose in the Supreme Court, the ACC meltdown is going to go a little bit differently for the folks who want to leave that conference based on what happens in this court hearing.
Well, and I also think what our sources told us today is now very, very important to the Pac-2, because we were told today by sources that the NCAA Division I Board of Directors was briefed on the Pac-12 ruling, and they are waiting for finality. So the Pac-12 is not going to make headway here. And I think there's a lot of people out in the sphere of information telling you that, President Schultz has a vote and he can block all of the changes. I just don't know. And I was talking to somebody about this today. Kirk Schultz is on the College Football Playoff Committee. They ultimately make the decision, and the vote does by rule have to be unanimous. But here's the problem that proponents of, we're going to hold them hostage, because imagine a scenario where Kirk Schultz, who doesn't have a conference, doesn't have a schedule for next year, and has no path to the college football playoff next year, is on the board saying, yeah, I'm not going to vote for any of this unless you give us everything that we're asking for. And it's all the money, the TV money that, P5 conferences get. And first of all, that's never going to happen, because Kirk Schultz is a lot of things. Stupid is not one of them. Kirk Schultz recognizes he needs the College Football Playoff Committee to support the move the Pac-2 make. he cannot survive without the College Football Playoff Committee. Oh, then there's this whole relationship with the Mountain West Conference. And this is the one that, and listen, I understand that podcasts have infected the sports world. I totally get that. Completely understand it. But for all of the people out there who are going on about how, oh, Kirk Schultz is going to stand on his own and he's going to fight. What's Gloria Navarez going to say to that? Because when Kirk Schultz hops into a business relationship with Gloria Navarez in the Mountain West, and he's the lone standout who screwed the College Football Playoff Committee, which is never going to happen, how do you think that's going to impact whatever business venture they form together for football and basketball?
Not well.
And how do you think that's going to impact the basketball piece of this? Because everybody's like, oh, this is a football issue. It's actually not. Because most universities make far more money on NCAA tournament units than they do on college football money.
Because we all agree the NCAA tournament's far more accessible than the college football playoff. Even next year in the expanded format, it's still a situation where, Washington State, as an example, is going to have a much easier time getting to the round of 64 than they would be getting to the 12-team college football playoff.
It's remarkable to me how many people just want to hang out and be like, oh, the Pac-2, they're going to get $320 million.
It lacks all sensibility for how human beings have conversations, and it lacks the understanding of leverage.
It lacks the understanding of how big business is done. Big business isn't done by putting a gun to somebody's temple. You understand that, right? Big business is done by negotiating. And there's not a negotiation anywhere that says, well, ESPN's going to pay Oregon State and Washington State $320 million. The problem with that is the College Football Playoff Committee is going to vote, including Kirk Schultz, to go to a 5-7 model. Because what choice does he have? Let's just pretend that he, on the College Football Playoff Committee, holds them up and says, I'm not voting for a 5-7. Well, here's the only problem with that. The NCAA and the College Football Playoff Committee are two different organizations. So the NCAA Board of Directors, Division I Board of Directors, is likely going to rule or view the Pac-2 as a lesser conference. They are not going to keep them at a P5 status. They are going to lower their status. So now you are Kirk Schultz and you save the Pac-12, let's say, and you're the Pac-2. What does it matter what the College Football Playoff Committee does? Because the NCAA just said that you're not a Power 5 conference anymore. So what are you standing in the way of? You're standing in the way of actually having a college football playoff, which you're not going to stand in the way of because all of your business partners need it. Like it is amazing to me that so many people have no idea how business gets done in this country. Do you understand that these are all wealthy, successful people that sit around at a table and make decisions for you and me? You understand that, right? Do you really think Kurt Schultz has the sway or the power to tell them that they can't do that? I got news for you. He does not, because he doesn't have, and I this is another thing I keep trying to tell people. Oh, Kirk Schultz is going to be our captain. He's going to save us. He has no troops. He doesn't have sergeants, first officers. He doesn't have foot soldiers. He has zero relationships. And the ones he has cannot help him. So I'm asking you, knowing that the NCAA and the College Football Playoff are two totally different operations, and the NCAA Division I Board of Directors has already been briefed on the Pac-12 situation, the moment that ruling comes down, what do you think the Board of Directors is going to do? Yeah, I think the Board of Directors is going to change that status.
I'm for real.
And I think that's going to happen in 2 years. And I think they're going to give the Pac-12 2 years to figure it out. Do you think Kirk Schultz is going to wait 2 years to make a move? No, he's not. You know what he's going to do? I think he's going to form a scheduling alliance with the Mountain West for 2024. And I think the College Football Playoff Committee is going to crucify them for that. Because your strength of schedule just went straight down the drain. So all of this supposing shit is over with.
So you are going to vote for the 5-7 model. You're not going to hold anything up. And you're going to hope that your football program can make an at-large bid. That's what you're going to hope. And you're going to hope that the folks over at Oregon State move along. Jonathan Smith, hey, hope you go find another job.
Yeah.
So that football program doesn't stand in your way nearly as much because they are better than you.
I just want Oregon State fan deserves so much better than this.
Agreed.
And I know we have a lot of Oregon State fans who DM me and listen to the show and comment in the comment sections. And I love you guys. You're great. You're passionate. But I'm begging you not to hold out hope that Kirk Schultz is somehow going to, what is he, Butch? Are they Butch and Sundance? President Murphy and Kirk Schultz, they're Butch and Sundance all of a sudden. How did Butch and Sundance end? Yeah, they're dead.
So you better check yourself.
You don't want to. Somebody quite literally said that to me the other day. They're Butch and Sundance. Them against the. I'm like, you realize they got unalived after that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
That doesn't matter. Butch and Sundance. What? All right. A lot of news to get to here on the Monty Show. You guys, your comments are amazing. We've got over 3,000 comments today. Please hit the like button. We're over 5,000 views in the first hour and 15 minutes of the show, but we're only at 190 likes. Please give us a thumbs up. Please hit the like button. And I would remind you that hour number 2 of the Monty Show is presented by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. I am hooked. I am all in. Last night, came home. Mrs. Monty had a tough day. We got on the Tri-Day trading machine and flipped that bad day into a good day, right? Because we worked the Australian dollar and the Japanese yen, and it was unbelievable, man. Like the ride, the thrill, the excitement of trading Forex is just, I mean, it's one of the things I really look forward to. I cannot wait to get home tonight. There is a big, every week, Tri-Day Trading on Wednesday nights puts on a trading seminar. Cannot wait to take part in that. You learn so much, and that's the part I want you to understand. $10, 30-day trial membership. $10 goes to charity. It's a tax write-off for you, and then you get their entire program for 30 days. All the high-level coaching. What I've learned in just the last few weeks about indicators and markets and pairings, pairing the Japanese yen and the Australian dollar against one another, buying it, selling it, when to buy it, when to sell it. Bro, you're making hundreds of dollars in a matter of minutes because they turned you into a great day trader. Go get it. $10 that goes to charity for a 30-day trial membership at Tri-Day Trading. But I warn you, you're going to be hooked. It is an addiction, and it is thrilling. It is, I mean, I have to tell you, it's a confidence booster too. Because when you get in there and you learn, and you simulate your first trades are all in a simulator, and you fail. You're like, oh, I didn't look at that indicator, because there's 3 main indicators. Hey, are they all going up? Okay, well, that's probably a buy signal. Are they all going down? That's probably a sell signal, right? So you're going through all of this, and then all of a sudden you start learning, and you start seeing that you're making money. And now you're not making $10. You're making hundreds of dollars. That turns into thousands of dollars.
Oh,
dude, I'm telling you, it is so much fun. It is so exciting. Get to TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Yes, OG Gary, there will be a morning show on Friday.
Yeah.
Let's get your comments rolling because we're going to Hawaii a week from now. What is this, Wednesday? Dude.
Bro.
A week from right now, Jake and I will be playing Turtle Bay, one of the finest golf courses in the state of Hawaii, and really in these beautiful United States of ours. Turtle Bay next Wednesday. Jake and I will have we'll upload daily reels on Instagram. We'll have daily shorts on YouTube. It's going to be an unbelievable ride. We're playing 3 just amazing courses. I cannot wait. I am so stoked. take the ride with us. Follow us on Instagram, The Monty Show, Monty The Monty Show, SLCJ, who cheats at virtual golf.
I don't cheat at anything, dude. And your allegations are absolutely not accurate.
Hour and 15 minutes, we'll level allegations like we're Ohio State. Let's see. Your comments on Michigan. The latest updates on Michigan is Connor Stallions. It looks like Connor Stallions, according to ABC in Detroit, never filed an expense report while he was employed at Michigan. You'll remember he resigned under pressure, I would describe. He was originally suspended with pay after revelations came out that he was the spearhead of a massive sign stealing scandal. Now ABC Detroit is reporting that Connor Stallions never filed an expense report, to which I say, hey, that's awesome. Yeah, but they found the finances of it. They found the public Venmo. They found all the tickets he bought.
Sign stealer guy.
Do you think this is significant? In the comments section, does it matter to you that Connor Stallions never filed an expense report? I think one of the bigger stories today also is that the exiting 10 members of the Pac-12 have filed a Supreme Court action in the state of Washington asking for a stay of the ruling from yesterday, which gave Oregon State and Washington State complete control of the Pac-12. They have asked for that ruling to be stayed while the Supreme Court of Washington completes a comprehensive review of that situation. We'll keep you up to date as details come out on that. Conundrum says Hawaii, they accept the yen. They don't. They don't.